to the Winpreneur discussion. Our today's guest is Dr. Stacey Cooper, and she is a holistic wellness leader. Her passion is to share with you how your body functions on the inside so that you can heal your health through nourishing your mind, body, and spirit naturally, and this is the title of her book. Dr. Stacey is an inspirational keynote speaker and educator. She is the founder of Lifestyle Balance Solutions, #1 international best-selling author of What Self-Love Got to Do With It. I love the title. Award-winning author of Heal Your Health, top international female author for her Healthy Fuel Cookbook, creator of the Balanced Living Academy and the Healthy Entrepreneur Matrix. Dr. Stacey is a fourth-generation practitioner with clinical experience which spans over 23 years. Her mission is to eliminate the type 2 diabetic epidemic globally. Dr. Stacey is married to her high school sweetheart Dean, and they have 4 amazing children. Out of the many powerful topics that Dr. Stacey has touched upon, today we're going to talk about holistic healthy living. Dr. Stacey, when I read your book, I was really shocked knowing that I am using caffeine every day to boost my energy, but this is counterproductive to my energy. So tell me more about energy boosters versus energy drainers, because all of us with this busy lifestyle, we need to have tons of energy, especially as business owners.
In regards to energy drainers, it really is important because people don't know how to fuel their bodies well. And so much of the information comes from the media and outside sources. That's all about selling. That's not about health and wellness. So when I talk about eliminating your hidden energy drainers, there's 5 things that I talk about. I talk about caffeine. That's a stimulant. That really jacks up your system. And I love to use the analogy of your body being like a car or an engine. If you put the wrong fuel in an engine, it's not going to function well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Diesel fuel in a gas engine. So the same thing happens if that engine is left to run on high speed over and over and over. That's what caffeine does. It's a stimulant, and it revs up your engine where the parts start to wear out. Caffeine also stimulates your stress hormone, cortisol levels, and it has detrimental effects. It also is a diuretic, and it takes water out of your body.
So one question here.
Yes.
I have this challenge in the morning, right after breakfast, when I go to work and sit by the computer, I'm so drained if I don't take any tea or coffee. So what do you recommend instead of tea or coffee?
Well, first thing, it depends on what you ate for breakfast or if you didn't eat breakfast. Right?
I do eat breakfast.
Okay, good. So that's really important. And in regards to how much exercise you do will determine how much energy your body will actually produce. So sitting at a desk and working all day, that utilizes your postural muscles to hold you up, but all of the rest of the big muscle groups aren't getting exercised or utilized. And this actually takes energy out of your system. So when you're finding that you need that caffeine boost, well, something that you could do naturally to stimulate your body is actually just get up from your desk and just right where you're standing, start moving your body. You can even just bounce on your toes, just bounce as you're standing for 30 seconds to a minute. And that will stimulate your proprioceptors. Those are mechanisms throughout your body for balance, strength. It'll stimulate your blood flow. It'll stimulate your heart function, your lung function. It will stimulate blood flow to your brain, and you will help to dissipate that drop in energy that you think that you need the caffeine for. And truly, it's mindset. If you think you can't manage your day without caffeine, you won't be able to manage your day without caffeine.
That's so true.
And then when you understand how your body functions on the inside, which is what I share in Heal Your Health, now with that knowledge comes power, because your willpower will come from within. And I also share with you how to swap out those bad fuels for great, healthy, easy fuels to get your body functioning better. So I also provide you those alternatives, those options to make the change so that the change is easy and you can get rid of your caffeine and your body will function so much better and you won't go through that crash and burn cycle.
Wow, that's really interesting. So I really want to get specific. So if I want to eliminate 3 energy drainers from my like daily diet, what would that 3 be?
Well, caffeine is one of the first ones I speak about. Hydration, water intake is the second one.
Okay.
And I'll share with you the third one, exercise, right? Movement for your body.
Okay.
So caffeine we touched on just briefly here now. I also mentioned that caffeine is a diuretic and it takes water out of your body.
Yes.
That leads directly into energy drainer number 2 is dehydration. So when your body's dehydrated, every single cell in your body, trillions of cells, requires water for optimal function. And when you're dehydrated, cells and systems and organs begin to shut down or provide dysfunction. It's not functioning at an optimal level. So hydration is truly important. And thinking that drinking a cup of coffee with caffeine or drinking a cup of tea, which still has caffeine, or drinking sports drinks or things like that, those truly do not hydrate your body. What hydrates your body and all that your body really needs is water.
Oh, I see.
So 2 liters of water per day is a general guideline that most people can utilize to fuel their body better, because you will already begin to clear mental fog and fuzziness. You will be able to have better heart function, circulatory function if you're well hydrated. Every single cell, organ, and system, your skin will look younger as it's plumper. You'll have less wrinkles. So it is truly a beauty factor as well.
Wow. This one I really like.
Yes, I know.
Interesting.
And then exercise is truly important, because sometimes people get home and they think, oh, I'm so exhausted from sitting at my desk all day. That's because, if you heard earlier, your postural muscles have been holding you up all day and all the rest of your muscles have been doing nothing. But that contraction of the postural muscles still required energy. And so you get home and you feel like all I can do is lay on the couch. Start with baby steps.
Okay.
Start with just 10 minutes out for a walk after supper or in the afternoon or on your lunch break.
Okay.
Get movement into your day. As you start to use your body more physically, that will start to generate more energy within your body. That will help to decrease the fatigue and tiredness that you experience, and it will help to boost your energy. So I invite you to check out my Eliminate Your 5 Hidden Energy Drainers from my website. You can get this for free, where it talks about all 5 of my hidden energy drainers and how to combat them. Breathing is also an important factor for stress reduction, also complex fuels and healthy fats. Fats are truly essential for better body function.
And what is your website address?
drstaceycooper.com.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. Dr. Stacey, in your book, I read that you mentioned some foods create inflammation in our body, which results in like terrible disease and illnesses. Can you please elaborate on that a little more? What are these foods that create inflammation, and how does that happen in our body? And most importantly, is that reversible?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Okay, good.
In the body, as we talked about it being an engine, right? And so every single cell in your body is its own engine, and the cell is where energy production happens. Energy production doesn't happen from the food you eat and occur in your stomach. Energy production happens when all of those molecules get broken down, distributed through the bloodstream, sent to the cells, get into the cells, and that's where energy production occurs. So if you're fueling your body with diesel fuel in that gas engine, now that engine isn't going to run well.
Yes.
Inflammation is swelling. That's what it means. And inflammation in the cell leads to dysfunction.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you the example of a water balloon. You can take a water balloon, you fill it at the kitchen sink, and if you put too much water in it, it stretches and stretches to the point where it may burst.
Yes.
Inflammation is swelling. Every single cell has a membrane, and as inflammation increases, as that swelling increases, that cell membrane stretches, but your body doesn't have the opportunity to burst. If your cells burst, you would disintegrate on the floor. So with that stretching of the cell membrane, as I mentioned just a minute ago, everything has to get into that cell before it can be utilized.
Okay.
If the cell membrane is stretched, now those little gates and channels for the transport mechanisms to bring things into the cell can't function well. Therefore, the cell can't function well. If a whole group of cells is no longer functioning well, then the organ starts to experience dysfunction. Then you get signs and symptoms of dis-ease, where it's no longer functioning well. And then it just perpetuates from there. So a lot of the North American diet is like putting diesel fuel in a gas engine. And that is what's creating inflammation and swelling in the body, which leads to dysfunction of so many systems and organs. So inflammation and degenerative disease go hand in hand, because as a cell begins to function abnormally, that leads to degeneration and disease. And so everything from high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, degenerative joint disease, arthritis, sleep apnea, obesity, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, pancreatic dysfunction. The list is endless in regards to how your body experiences dysfunction from inflammation and swelling. So when you change the environment that you provide for your body and you begin to fuel it better, this is how you can reverse all of those degenerative disease processes.
Oh, that's a good news, right?
It's truly good news, because the remarkable thing is your body is an incredible adaptive mechanism. It is adapting every single second of every single day to whatever environment you're providing, whether stress is positive or negative, happy or sad, whether environment that you're experiencing, whether foods that you're putting in, whether chemical substances that are being initiated into the system. Your body has to adapt to all of that. And it does adapt, but there's a finite limit as to how much adaptation can occur before signs and symptoms show up. So the great news is you can take charge now. You have the choice to make a change, and therefore you can reverse all of these situations by learning how to fuel your body better naturally.
That's really interesting. Thank you.
It gives hope.
Yeah, of
because
course.
so many people feel that they're lost.
Yes. Dr. Stacey, in one of your talks, I heard that the 21st century kids are the first generation that they do not outlive their parents. And as a mother, this is heartbreaking and surprising. So the question is how we can change that, and why is that happening in the first place?
It truly is unbelievable to me in the day and age that we live, with sanitation and health and wellness and awareness and research, that this is happening. And in actual fact, it is happening. So what's occurring is, with all of our processed and packaged foods, they are so highly refined that when those fuels get put into the body, they're called simple fuels. And you remember I mentioned that complex fuels is really what your body needs. So taking in these simple fuels, they're already broken down into their smallest building blocks, which means that it's immediately absorbed into your bloodstream, because it doesn't take much at all for your digestive system to break it down. And it goes in there as glucose. Glucose is the sugar molecule. So your pancreas works to release insulin into your bloodstream, and everything needs a carrier, a transporter, and insulin is the carrier for glucose to get it into the cells where it can be used for energy production.
Okay.
So here you have the Highway 400, and here you have a shuttle of insulin to catch these passengers of glucose to carry throughout the body. And what happens is you have a mad rush. It's rush hour, right? And you only have a limited number of insulin molecules to carry this bombardment of glucose. So now there's sugar in the bloodstream. Your pancreas is signaled to create more insulin. Although that insulin is now ineffective, your body becomes resistant to that insulin, and it creates a vicious cycle, which leads to more inflammation and swelling and degenerative disease, like we spoke about. And so what's happening in this century with our young children, because of this bombardment of glucose into their system from so many sources that they are experiencing skyrocketing levels of type 2 onset diabetes and obesity. And this leads to incredible health issues and is totally reversible and preventable. So our bodies were only designed to metabolize 3 teaspoons of sugar a day. We are
3 teaspoons, not even tablespoons.
No.
Wow.
Yes. So start reading labels and see the sugar content, and it skyrockets because many people are putting 10 times that amount in their bodies per day. So no wonder the pancreas is wearing out. It's overstimulated. It can't keep up. And there you get dysfunction of the organ. When you swap out those simple fuels for great, healthy, delicious fuels, like from my Healthy Fuels cookbook, this is where you can change the environment you're providing for your body. You can reverse this degenerative disease process. And that's my whole mission, is to share my mission of eliminating the type 2 diabetic epidemic globally.
Wow. Interesting. You know, I found out when I understand how the body functions, I am more motivated and more informed that this is essential for my health and for my family's health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the key. Unless you've studied health and nutrition from a holistic perspective, then you don't know how your body functions. Many people don't even know how the digestive system functions, let alone how energy gets produced within the body. And that's what I love to share in easy, understandable steps through Heal Your Health, that it sheds the light in regards to, oh, I didn't even know that about caffeine and sugar and inflammatory foods and how I can reverse it. I share that and so much more in easy steps that everyone can implement into their daily lives for free. It's easy to start to make simple changes and simple steps, because when you have that knowledge as to how it happens inside, it's so much easier to make your changes, because I share with you how to swap out those bad fuels for great, easy, nutritious fuels. And it's not about eating birdseed and rabbit food. It's about great, healthy, delicious food and just swapping out your favorites, making them a little differently. You even get to have chocolate cake. It's not a diet, it's a lifestyle.
Wow, interesting. It's the most important part is that that I personally believe a lot of people fail healthy eating is because they don't know how to make it delicious and how to put it in their daily diet.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really interesting what you have done.
Thank you. And that's the whole point of the cookbook, because it has smoothies, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert, because what's life without dessert? And that's why it's not a diet. Actually, in Heal Your Health, I talk about why diets don't work and how the cheat day is already built right in. Well, at Lifestyle Balance Solutions, there is no cheat day, because you can eat whatever you want from the cookbook, which fuels your body with complex fuels naturally and easily. And it's kid tested and family approved, because all of the recipes, all 4 of my teenagers enjoy eating them, and they can make them as well. So we're a family of 6. If it doesn't work in our household without a chef in the kitchen or 3 hours to make a meal, it doesn't get in my cookbook. These are all family-friendly recipes that the kids just enjoy, and it's healthy for everybody.
Interesting. I have seen your children helping you in setting up tables at events. I always see your youngest one, Jake, making his own chocolate cake and like distributing it. And I'm so happy each time I see him, because I admire you for what you're doing and for the relationship that you have built with your son.
Thank you. It really is a key component to have the support of family. And when you start with communication and your vision and your goals, and you share that openly, and then they can participate and support you. And so my husband, Dean, has been with me throughout this entire journey, supporting me all the way. And all of the kids, they, like I said, they tested all the recipes, they make them at home, they participate in family dinner night, they each have a night of the week that they have to make a meal for the whole family, and they've been doing that for years. And I've never made a school lunch, They've always made their own and take charge of their own responsibility in health and well-being. So, you know, Lindsay, she works full time, but yet she'll still come home and make the cakes for me for an event, because oftentimes we have to make 13 batches of cake for an event that we attend.
Wow.
And so everybody pitches in. Kayla's in university studying to become a veterinarian, and she too knows the importance of balance in her life and participating in helping and rejuvenating her mind and body as well. And Derek, he too is working full time. He's finishing grade 12 right now, and he is so important to helping me load boxes, stuff books, print flyers, bake the cake. They all love the cake. And Jake, of course, with him being in high school, he's able to have weekends free to come and help me and be at the table. And I certainly wouldn't be able to do it without him, because you can't do it all on your own.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. Interesting. Dr. Stacey, one thing that really got my attention in your Your Health book is that you talk about self-love. Because personally, I believe everything is related to your mindset and how you program your mind. And personally, I believe bad relationship with self could result in poor health situation. So I would like you to share your story with me. I know you had your own wake-up call in terms of self-love. So share your story, how it happened and what you went through.
I completely agree with you. Bad relationships with self leads to ill health. Absolutely, bar none. And when you are not practicing self-love, all the wheels fall off the cart, right? So I was a superpower, so I thought.
Okay.
I was a people pleaser, and I received my self-worth from the praise that I received from others.
Isn't that, sorry to cut you, isn't that how most of the women feel? It's really common with
It's very
women.
common. I can't say for everyone, but it certainly is common in regards to how I was brought up, how, our generation was brought up, that we were always to do for others. It was always important to not put yourself first, but to always look out for the other person and to help, to guide, to provide, and always give that lending hand, which is what I did. To a fault, actually. And so I gained my self-worth from the praise that I received. So the more full my plate was, the more expanded my calendar was, the more packed it was, apparently the better I felt about myself, because I was doing so much for everyone else. I was the giver, right? And so then what happened is, as I moved through that, I was a human doer.
Okay.
I was do, instead of a human being.
Oh, that's really powerful.
Yes. And so having done that and been there and losing my health has shifted everything. So the short story is, if you don't look after yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. And the importance of self-love is that when you take the time to actually look after yourself, now you are no longer coming from a place, which I was, coming from a place of fatigue, frustration, being emotionally drained, physically deprived, and just at a place so low where I had nothing more to give. Well, how is that supposed to work for a giver, a people pleaser, and a human doer? That doesn't work. That's when the wheels fall off the bus. So when you take the time to actually implement self-love and self-care, now I truly am able to give so much more to all of those around me, because I replenish myself first. Okay. I take the time to rejuvenate, regenerate, recreate within myself. My cup is now full, I'm energized, and I have so much more to give because I looked after me first. So it's not selfish practicing self-love. You're actually able to give more by practicing self-love first.
Wow, that's a great mindset to have. So let's get really specific. In terms of practicing self-love every day, as a woman with a lot of responsibilities, running a business, taking care of the family and children, what should I do every day to practice self-love?
This is so essential for every entrepreneur, not just busy moms, right? And the Healthy Entrepreneur Matrix dives deep into how you can take care of this. But in regards to practicing self-love, the first thing I will share is planning, learning the plan. And that's a specific step that I have in the Healthy Entrepreneur Matrix, where you actually have to schedule your self-love for yourself, because you know how your calendar gets full. So I talk about hard entries and soft entries in my calendar. So my hard entries, they are inked in, they're non-negotiable, and they can't be erased. So those include, first of all, my office hours, because my patients expect me to be at my office at a particular time. So that is blocked off.
Okay.
My self-love entries are the very next thing. These are hard entries. So that includes time for meditation every single day.
Okay.
It includes my physical exercise so that my body is well energized, strong, healthy, and happy. Exercise is also a great stress reducer too. It also includes my family time. Time with my husband, time with each of my children. That is hard inked into my calendar.
Wow.
And then when I talk about soft entries, those are negotiable things. If you have a social engagement on a Friday evening and it may be run from 6 till 10, well, you may not have to spend those 4 hours there at that particular engagement. Getting groceries is also a soft entry. It doesn't have to happen at noon on Wednesday. It's a little flexible, but it does need to get done, so it can be moved. So those are things that I call my soft entries. But my non-negotiables are my me time, my self-love time, my family time, and of course the obligations that I have, right? And whether it be getting my son to his hockey practice, things like that, that are in the schedule.
Interesting. Thank you for sharing. By putting the self-love in everyday plan, then we would be able, as you said, to take care of ourselves first and provide more to the others.
Absolutely.
So we will not reach the level of burnout.
Exactly. The whole point in mindset is a shift in priorities. It used to be that, oh, I'd love to go and do yoga tonight. And that would be at the bottom of my list. I'd have 27 other things to do in a day.
I know.
And by the time the evening showed up, forget yoga.
Yes.
So some of those things on that list of Monday would get carried over to Tuesday. The problem was the list wouldn't remain as it was to migrate, with yoga being closer to the top. The problem was that list for Tuesday would get reprioritized, and yoga would drop to the bottom again, to the point where at the end of the week, you never even got to yoga, right? So shifting that mindset, putting you as your first priority, hard entering those into your schedule in ink, and it's non-negotiable. Now you're looking after you first, and it changes everything. And life becomes full of love, passion, fulfillment, energy, and it just truly changes everything.
Awesome. So Dr. Stacey, where people can find your programs, your books, where they can get connected to you?
The easiest way to find me is drstacey360.com. So it's DRSTACEY 360.com. All my information is there. You'll see upcoming events and all of those sorts of things. Then also you can check out my Healthy Eating Blueprint at healthyeatingblueprint.com.
Okay, great. And one last thing is that if our audience want to take away a couple of things that they can implement in their daily schedule and impact their life positively, what would that be?
First of all, you have the choice to choose to change, and you have the courage to make it different. And so that was what I would love to leave you with. Take stock of where you are right now. Identify some of the things that you would like to change. Set out a goal, an attainable goal, something that's reasonable, that you want to strive towards.
You mean like baby steps?
That's the very next thing. Then we're going to create baby steps to reach that destination. Because you don't do a marathon on day one, you step out the door. You have to train for it. So you need to start where you are right now, take baby steps to reach an attainable goal, and continue to move forward with your change in environment. And I invite all of the listeners, I invite you to reach out to me, have a complimentary coaching session where we can help to outline your goals and develop baby steps to get you started today, right now. So you can just reach out to me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure having this discussion with you, and all the best.
Thank you so much. It's been such a joy, and I love sharing the message.
Thank you. Dr. Stacey's program is a game changer in your health. Make sure to take a look at her website and get connected to her. Also, remember to subscribe on the Winpreneur YouTube channel and hit the notification button so you get notified for the future videos. Stay healthy and awaken the best you. Bye for now.